And now, Knock 2 Studios presents Common Censored.
Hello, Pauline Hanson. How's Australia?
Look, Joe, to tell you the truth, it's not good, mate. How's...
Pauline Hanson's on Joe Rogan. Ew, spreading dangerous misinformation, I bet. No, it's even worse. She's telling the truth. You see, Adam, us governments have had control over the mainstream media for years. But oh no, everybody had to start making podcasts and YouTubes and thinking for themselves. But Albo, we're just the Australian government. How are we supposed to censor the entire internet? It's easy. Adam, meet Julie, the E-Safety Commissioner. Delete. Blocked. Delete. Julie, good news. I'm guillotining debate and rushing through the misinformation bill under everyone's noses. Congratulations! We're giving you all the powers of the government and more! Censor the internet and label everything we don't like as misinformation! Go, my pretty! Go! Go!
Joe Rogan just did a podcast with the wonderful Pauline Hanson, but now he's vanished. Something tells me that the Australian government had something to do with this.
Oh no, busted! Now everyone's gonna know we engaged in censorship to conceal the truth. I'll be the arbiter of truth, thank you very much. Deploy the E-Safety Commissioner! Without free speech, we cannot discern the facts, which means we live in a world of feelings. So, I don't know what's going on, but I heard Australia's... Oh man. They even got the Hawk Tour girl. You're not gonna get away with this, you heartless, corrupt, 400 pedophile. Well, Adam, we've done it. We've censored the entire internet and have complete control over the narrative. Uh-oh, Albo. Looks like we've just lost the federal election. Huh? Yep, Peter Dutton's in charge. Hand over the keys, Anthony. It's Dutton time. Thank goodness! That's Peter Dutton. He's the leader of the Liberal Party.
Oh good, we can definitely trust a Conservative Party leader to protect our right to free speech.
Lock him up, Julie. Now. Yeah. Now I'm in charge.
What's going on? Oh yeah, the Liberal Party want to censor everyone as much as we do. You know, they were the ones that introduced this misinformation bill in the first place. Both of you want censorship? That's right, Joe Rogan. Both major parties in Australia are completely hell-bent on controlling speech as a way to achieve total control. And sadly, nothing and no one is able to stop them. Look! Senator Pauline Hanson, she's just taken down the E-Safety Commissioner! Unbelievable! We got a fight on our hands here, folks! What do you think, Rob Schneider? You can do it! Rip her freaking head off! Oh! Thank you, Senator Pauline. Thanks, Pauline. Thanks, Pauline. So what, you're just gonna let us go? You're not gonna lock us up and censor us forever?
No, I might not agree with what you say, but I will fight till the death for your right to say it.
Haha, that means no consequences for our actions.
I didn't say that. Get him, Hop Tool Girl.
What? Spit on that thing, you get me?
Nice one, Haley.
Authorized by P. Hanson, 1E.
What's up, everybody, and welcome back to Common Censored. Thanks for being here, all of you censored commoners. I'm Lord Sterling, and this is episode 287. Jack Smith drops the Trump charges. Israel-Hamas ceasefire is imminent. Trump considers replacing the mainstream media at White House press briefings with independent media. Ooh, I like that one. NIH official admits the COVID policies were fabricated. Imagine my shock. And so much more. Lots of stuff to cover today. Make sure to join us Monday through Friday, 6:45 p.m.-ish Eastern Time, as we cover all the crazy clown world clusterfuck chaos that is 2024. Use hashtag Common Censored and hashtag Info Infantry when you share the show. You can find us on X at Lord Sterling _. Thanks to all of our new followers that followed us on Rumble over the weekend. Appreciate you guys. Links to all the stories, articles, videos, content we covered today will be posted in the video description on Rumble after the termination of the broadcast. And Mama Mac will be adding timestamps So if you're watching this later on, click down in the video description, skim through the topics that we're going to cover, and you can jump right to the point in the show where we cover the things that interest you. Throw Mama Mac some love and head over to alplama.com, your new herbal health guru. Avoid the petrochemical pharmaceutical industry that wants you sick and dependent, and try some natural tinctures to remedy your ailments. Alplama, yuck. Tastes bad, but so good for you, right, Mama Mac? And if you want to support the show directly, you can head over to our link tree at Common Censored to find all of our affiliate links, merch, and everything like that over there. Thanks in advance for keeping the lights blinding my retinas and keeping Loki's belly full of delicious treats over there. Disclaimer. Views expressed on Common Censored are only opinions. Assume everything we say is false and research for yourself. We're not giving medical, legal, or financial advice. The only advice we are giving is think for yourself. Question authority. Think for yourself. Question authority. Boom! All right, let's jump into the news. Thanks again for being here, everybody. Hope you liked that little meme at the start. A must-watch documentary, according to Info General Jones, about what's happening in the land of Down Under, mate. I thought that was pretty good. Hopefully you guys are enjoying it. Hope you all had a good weekend. Sorry for taking yesterday off. Had some family stuff to do. And then had to solve a bunch of tech issues today, which delayed me a little bit. So we're here. We're finally back. Don't freak out. Thanks for joining us. Let's hop into the news. Crazy B sent this one to me. The news keeps getting better and better. Make sure to follow Crazy B at CrazyB8383 on X. That's B as in the Bumble variety. B-E-E. Crazy B-E-E 8383. Reposting George at B-Hizzy tweets. Saying a breaking, Judge Tanya Chutkan has just approved Jack Smith's motion to drop all charges against President Trump only hours after he filed the motion. The case is over. Finito. Done. Finished. Although it could still be brought back in the future because it was dismissed without prejudice. So Trump might have to pardon himself to make sure that this doesn't come back in 2029 to bite him. Quote, the court will grant the government's motion to dismiss the superseding indictment without prejudice. And George says he'd pay to see the look on crooked Judge Chutkan's face having to write a ruling in favor of Trump. I'd pay too. That's pretty hilarious. Pretty hilarious. So, good job, fuckers. Your lawfare failed again. On the other hand, we have World War III watch as Ukraine fires U.S.-made ATACMS missiles with cluster munitions against Kalino airfield in Russia's Kursk region. Have some shock videos here and another dangerous escalation in the war on Ukraine. In Ukraine, the Kiev regime has fired long-range U.S.-made ATACMS missiles into Russian territory again. This time, the attacks appear to have centered around the area of the Kalino airfield. This is the third time Ukraine shoots NATO-supplied and authorized missions into Russian territory. Insane. 5 or 6 of these missiles with cluster warheads shot into Kursk. With NATO now saying they're considering a preemptive strike against Russia, these fuckers will not relent. Completely insane. They'll stop at nothing.
Ебать, там хуярит, блядь. Ебать! Твою мать, блядь! Пизда нахуй! Пизда нахуй!
Super crazy, super crazy. This is the area in question, the Kalino airfield and the air defense batteries. Here's another video.
А, ну это беспилотники. Ух ты, а что это такое? И там, блядь,
That's right, Wendy. We should pull out of NATO, ally with Russia, and then go to war against NATO. I'm kidding about that last part. But not the first two parts.
Это какая-то
This
система
is so out of
ПВО новая.
control. This is as Polish officials have come out saying that half of the money sent to Ukraine was laundered back to the Democrats. Imagine my shock. So they can't let the truth about the biological labs, about the money laundering, about all the black projects going on in Ukraine to get out. So we have NATO nations now, as we speak, saying that even if the U.S. cuts funding, they're still going to be sending people in to help Ukraine and money. Insane. We'll keep updated with the details of this as we go. And we have more information on the list coming up, so let's keep moving. How about this one? Elon Musk posted this. Yeah, whatever, LMAO. You are the media now, us, in other words, and legacy media knows it. Reposting Western Lensman as the Axios CEO melts down over Elon telling X-users, you are the media now. Mounts a passionate defense of the dying legacy media. This guy is a clown. Talk about being disconnected from reality. Take a look at this.
Everything we do is under fire. Elon Musk sits on Twitter every day, or X today, saying like, we are the media. You are the media.
Yeah, we are.
My message to Elon Musk is bullshit. You're not the media. You having...
What stage of denial is this?
A Twitter handle and 300 words of cleverness doesn't make you a reporter. You don't do that by popping off on Twitter.
Actually, when you have a blue check mark, you can add a lot more than 300 words, bro, so you don't even know what you're talking about.
You don't do that by having an opinion. You do it by doing the hard work.
Yeah, come on, slow clap, everybody. Whoa. First of all, I've got to say, extraordinary content.
Jerry GB2316. Thanks for joining us, and thanks to Free Castle for rating at the start. Free Castle, bro. Thanks, appreciate it. And welcome, Jerry.
It needed to be said.
Yeah.
It continues to need to be said. When all of the garbage is flying around on social media, lying about reporters, lying about the hard work they do, lying about the hard work editors do, lying about everything up and down, about not only their alternative set of facts, but alternative set of facts about what people like you do. Or if
you guys are the ones lying about freaking everything. Come on. This is total inversion of reality, as to be expected.
Social media, people lying every day.
Oh, yeah.
Every hour, every minute about the news. What you do matters. What the New York Times does matters. What the Wall Street Journal does matters. What Jonathan Lemire does matters. What the Financial Times does matters.
No, none of it matters. You guys are jokes, man.
What NBC
right, Jerry.
News and MSNBC reporters do matters. It matters.
Mama Mac, what happened to his dead intern? Did that matter? Oh, zing, Mama Mac. Hashtag too soon. Now, it's been plenty long enough. Yeah, what happened to her? Did she matter? For real, that's right. That's right, Braden. Mainstream media is scared. They are going down. And we may even have Elon purchasing MSNBC, which makes it even freaking funnier. That's right, Jerry. No, doesn't matter. No, that doesn't matter. None of that stuff you listed matters. That's right, T. These people are deranged. Deranged. This is trending like crazy the other day on X, which is hilarious. Let's jump over to the next topic today. But what stage of denial is this, or you know, is that stages of grief denial? What stage is that? Because that's a stage that this dude's at. How about this? Maybe the NIH will be forced to stop denying this. O'Keefe Media Group at O'Keefe Media on X posting this one, quote, I probably shouldn't be saying this out loud, unquote. NIH chief confesses COVID health initiatives were, quote, completely made up. I don't even know if these jibs will stop you from getting COVID. They don't. Adds, we're going to learn about safety, about jab safety when it's too late. Maybe we should hold off on this story until we get off of X or get off of YouTube in a little bit. I'll push this down in the list. So we'll come back to this in a little bit. Because we can't really play this on YouTube. These freaking censorious bastards. Even somebody from the NIH admitting this, it'll still get me in trouble probably. So let's jump ahead. We'll come back to this in a little bit. BRICS News posting this just in. Preemptive strike against Russia should be considered. NATO Military Committee Chairman says, are you freaking kidding me? Are you kidding me? Good question, Skunk. All I know is that I have a MyPillow, and I freaking love that thing. It's so good. These people, yeah, they want World War III so bad they will stop at nothing. And the most important part, as I saw Mike Adams analyzing over the weekend, of the Russians' use of ICBMs, I can't remember what it's called, the Oleshnik or whatever it is. It wasn't, I mean, obviously it was a deterrent and letting people know that we can get our nukes past your safety measures. But on top of that, it's almost, it renders nukes a thing of the past at this point, because they can attack any place on Earth with kinetic weapons, and they don't even need nukes to take out sites all around the planet. So we'll get into Mike Adams' breakdown of that in a little bit, but this just goes to show you how insane these people are. Even though the NATO head Rutte met with Trump at Mar-a-Lago, other people over there at NATO are still wilding out, refusing to even entertain the idea of a ceasefire. In other news, we have a ceasefire that has now been reached between Israel and Hezbollah. Margaret Flavin bringing the flavor over at Gateway Pundit on this. This was just updated recently. A ceasefire between Israel and Hezbollah has been announced. CNN reporting Israel's security cabinet has approved the U.S.-backed Lebanon ceasefire proposal, according to the Israeli Prime Minister's office. Quote, the political security cabinet approved this evening the United States proposal for a ceasefire arrangement in Lebanon by a majority of 10 ministers against one opponent. That's good. Israel appreciates the contribution of the United States in the process and maintains its right to act against any threat to its security, statement read. During remarks Tuesday, Joe Biden announced the ceasefire to end the violence in Lebanon, but underscored Israel's right of self-defense. If Hezbollah or anyone else breaks a deal, you mean like when they created Hamas and they stood down the Iron Dome and used that whole event as a pretext for launching their invasion of all these countries? Let me be clear, Biden stated. If Hezbollah or anyone else breaks the deal, poses a direct threat to Israel, that Israel retains the right to self-defense, consistent with international law. Too bad the International Criminal Court doesn't see it that way. That saying that obviously it's not just self-defense when they're wiping out people in Palestine, innocent people in Palestine. And if you go to Canada, France, all these other countries, Netanyahu, you're going to get arrested. Going to get arrested, man. Leading up to the agreement, strikes by the IDF on Hezbollah leadership have been devastating, as Israel eliminated much of the top leadership of both Hamas and Hezbollah. So you guys get the gist. This was in the works today. They now have approved the ceasefire in Lebanon, being reported on Zero Hedge as well. OAN reporting as well. Israeli security cabinet approves U.S.-backed ceasefire in Lebanon. Netanyahu voices support. Surprising. Yeah, and while you guys are here, I need to point out that I did an interview with the Outlaw Dogs over the weekend, over on her channel, The Outlaw Dogs on Rumble. So make sure to head on over there and check that one out. Ooh, Crazy B. We'll see in a few minutes. Gotta reboot that PC. It happens, B. So yeah, hop over to the Outlaw Dogs after we're done here or bookmark the page now and check out her channel. Episode 1 of Interview with an Outlaw. Outlaw Dogs. Thanks for interviewing me. I had a lot of fun. Hope you guys enjoy the interview. Let's see what we got next on the list. Oh, we got some MH370 updates. I had been highly skeptical of the video that had come out showing the MH370 abduction in what appears to be some kind of a teleportation device using 3 orbs hovering around the plane that just disappears it instantaneously. But I may be changing my mind about that at this point, because now we have two angles of the incident, which makes it a lot harder to fake. Ashton Forbes, Just X Ashton over here, has now spoken to network engineers of the Sibir's satellite surveillance system, the Lockheed system, and verified that the videos seem to be legit. You can hear all the details in the first part of his stream from the other day. Here are the important pieces, though. They're 100% sure that the MH370 satellite video is in fact showing the Sibir's system, which is this Lockheed low orbital and high orbital surveillance satellite system that lets you look at freaking anything on anywhere on Earth, basically, at any time. They have had top secret clearance and are familiar with the capabilities, the engineers to whom he spoke about this. This corroboration trumps every single debunk attempt to date. I expect the debunkers to attack the person viciously as they always do when their lies are proven incorrect. For the record, I am once again stating that I will not be accepting apologies in the future, says Ashton, and I will drag the people who have been defaming me and lying about the true fate of the MH370 passengers as seen in 2 100% real military videos for the rest of their lives. Debunkers, you've been fairly warned. So I was obviously pretty skeptical about this, but now with these 2 videos, it's a lot harder to be super skeptical about this. Here we have the compilation of these 2 videos synced, not perfectly synced, but synced well enough from different angles. Quote, there's never been anything like this ever leaked to the public realm, and there's no such thing as hoax videos with this level of corroboration. Yeah. This is starting to look more real to me now that we have these 2 videos side by side. Take a look. And as this plays, I'm going to find the Sibir's video to show you about that. But you have these orbs. This one orb comes in, a second one just appears out of nowhere. They start spiraling around, and I'm going to do a closer frame-by-frame analysis of these to verify that these orbs are perfectly synced in both videos. But if they are, that is a strong indicator that this is actually real video. So pretty insane development we have with this whole situation here. The different colors on the plane accurately representing different heat levels, showing, and then boom, just pops out of existence. Crazy, crazy stuff. I'd been super skeptical. My source, as you guys know, spoke with the former director of research and development at United Technologies on the day that MH370 disappeared and was told that MH370 was captured by a mile-wide UFO. So if this is accurate, these videos, and it looks like they have this teleportation type of technology, my guess is that MH370 was teleported onto the hangar bay of this mile-wide UFO and captured, which is crazy. Here is an overview of the Lockheed Martin Sibir's satellite surveillance system, just for the record.
Global persistent infrared surveillance continues to be a critical national security space mission. The Cold War focus on strategic ICBM systems has expanded to include short and mid-range ballistic missile threats. The Defense Support Program maintains the legacy Cold War monitoring to warn of ICBM missile launches against the U.S. The replacement program is the Space-Based Infrared System, or SBIRS, which has already provided 2 infrared sensor payloads in highly elliptical orbits, or HEO. The SBIRS program is also deploying multiple spacecraft into geosynchronous Earth orbit, or GEO. Each has 2 independent infrared sensors. One is a scanner dedicated to missile warning with full Earth monitoring. The other sensor is a taskable starer that can focus on selected regions. Each pair of sensors acts simultaneously and independently of each other, providing a robust, taskable infrared platform. SBIRS is the nation's next generation of space-based infrared surveillance. The program has already proven its value with successful HEO payloads on orbit. With deployment of the GEO spacecraft, SBIRS will be an unprecedented resource as the nation's global, taskable, and persistent infrared monitoring sentinel.
So, They can spy on us from all around the world. I'm trying real quick to find this Dick Gregory video that has information about the people on board MH13 and why this may have been MH370 and why this may have been an important craft for them to steal. Real quick, let me grab this from, that was my old account. Here's a shorter version of the video. But while this is playing, I'll find the full one because this is crazy stuff. Oop. Screen share failing again for some reason, glitching over here. Let me pull it back up on screen for you guys. Sorry about that. Get the right screen over here. The video I'm looking for is like a little bit longer than this video.
There's one of the most evil, vicious Navy bases in the history of the planet. They do stuff that would make look like Santa Claus. Diego Garcia.
So
wait.
Sorry.
Diego Garcia. That's where that first Malaysian plane is. That's where it landed. It had 4 scientists on it. 20 scientists, but 4 had filed for patents. It was Malaysia, but they worked out of Austin, Texas, for Texas Instruments. And the ones behind that plane was Texas Instruments, the government, and Boeing, who made the plane. And everybody is stupid enough to believe that a plane almost a block long can just disappear. With the electronics we have, all the technology we have, the next generation of cars will come out, there'll be no driver. So we got 4 of those top scientists that had filed for patents worth $400 billion. Okay? So if 1, 2, 3 of us and your brother, 4, we filed for patents. And then here's a friend of yours who's with us. So 5 of us filed for patents. If we die before the patent is granted, then your brother, who wasn't on the plane with us, he owns them all. So those 4 scientists, and the 5th person was the Carlyle Group.
Carlyle Group?
They own them all now. The patent was granted 3 days after the plane was missing.
Wow.
Okay? And so what I'm saying is, this is the game, and if you can't follow that thread, then you don't see it.
That's crazy.
What were the patents for?
Huh?
What were the patents for?
Well, the patents was, you heard people talk about one.
Okay, so that video ends a little bit early, but here's the video that I was looking for with the full commentary at the end.
Navy bases in the history of the planet. And you don't see it.
That's crazy.
What were the patents for?
Huh?
What were the patents for?
Well, the patents was, you heard people talk about they're gonna one day inject you and can control you. Well, these guys come up with something, they don't have to inject you. They just put in this room and you come in and you smell it. That's what they were for.
Carlyle Group names former Pfizer chairman, CEO Ian Reed as operating executive for global healthcare. So, sketchy stuff. MH370 may have been teleported onto a mile-wide UFO owned by somebody connected with the Carlyle Group to get control of these scientists, to take them out of the picture so the patents would revert to the Carlyle Group. And then either these scientists were taken out or they were probably enslaved at some black site somewhere to continue their smart dust research to advance this technology for mind control for the military-industrial complex. And they're probably able to control this smart dust through that same Sibir's low-orbital satellite observation surveillance system as well, with frequency outputs is my bet. So, Shit, guys. Shit, guys. We better hope that World War III doesn't start. Oh, man. How about this one? Speaking of just total craziness, clown world, Elon Musk says over here at Elon Musk on X, reposting Rothmus, please turn off the UK and then turn on again to fix the glitches. This headline is just so out of control. SNP-led Scottish government set to argue for the rights of pregnant men and male-born lesbians at the UK's highest court today. In landmark case about the definition of woman. Like, how is this even a conversation that's being had? These people are complete lunatics who say, trust the science, and then say, except for biology, we don't believe in those chromosomes, you bigots and racists. Insane. How about this? Rep. Eric Burleson at Rep. Eric Burleson just introduced legislation in the next Congress to abolish the ATF. What do you guys think about this? Should we abolish the ATF or should we just retrofit it so that it, instead of confiscating alcohol, tobacco, firearms, explosives, that it just gives them out to the Americans, make sure we're all stocked up? That's what I think we should do. But check out this video.
Hey, I'm Congressman Eric Burleson. And my first day in office, I filed a bill to repeal the National Firearms Act. In addition, I co-sponsored a bill by my good friend, Matt Gaetz, to abolish the ATF. And while we are super excited for Matt Gaetz to be our Attorney General, he's leaving the vacuum behind. Well, I'm happy to announce right now that I'm stepping in, and in January, I will be filing the bill that Matt Gaetz sponsored to abolish the ATF. Why? Because we're fighting for you. Hey,
Boom. So unfortunately, Gaetz is not going to be Attorney General at this point. But remember, I predicted on Friday that we could see him as a special counsel, and he was hinting at that over the weekend. We'll get into those posts as well eventually. How about this one? Even though Tesla is the only company who manufactures their EVs in California, Newsom, the clown, is excluding Tesla from their latest EV incentives in California. Tesla excluded from EV buyer credits in California proposal. Governor Newsom plans to reboot state program for EV adoption. Guidelines under consideration would leave popular models out. These people, if you actually care about what you're proposing, then you should be including Tesla in this. But no, he's a political enemy, and this is a two-tiered system. So if you go against the narrative, you're not allowed to be included. These people are total clowns, JJR, just like you're saying. Newsom is a complete, total clown. Hopefully we can arrest all these people. If he tries to protect people, protect illegals, for instance, Tom Homan will lock his ass up. How about this? Biden requests $24 billion for Ukraine aid before the transition to Trump's administration. Insane. President Joe Biden has requested an additional $24 billion in aid for Ukraine, intended for both replenishing U.S. military stocks and supporting Ukraine's ongoing conflict with Russia. This funding request comes as part of the budget discussions just weeks before a potential transition in the U.S. admission. Potential? What? It should be guaranteed. Why is it potential? We'll potentially have Trump as president. What are these people talking about? The aid proposal. This is a summary from Grok, interestingly. The aid proposal has sparked various reactions on social media, with some users questioning the prioritization of foreign aid over domestic issues, while others highlight the geopolitical significance of supporting Ukraine. These people are unmitigated criminal scumbags. Just in, Joe Biden wants and is asking for another $24 billion for Ukraine just 55 days before Trump takes office. Not another fucking penny. Gunther Eagleman says, I agree. Nick Sortor also, saying, what the hell's going on? Is Biden trying to launder as much as cash as possible before he gets out of power? Spoiler alert, yes. That's my theory. Just like we saw that Polish official come out and say that half of the money that goes to Ukraine is being laundered back to Democrats. So that's probably what's going on here. These people, man, they just cannot allow this to happen, for the transition to occur. Exactly. SSG, asshole. Why not? Funneled right back. Yep. Funneled right back, but into the hands of the demon rats. So this is what Western North Carolina looks like today after being completely decimated But we don't care about the people living in tents over there. We're just going to send all this money to Ukraine because fuck the Americans. These are American last assholes in charge right now. So just completely insane that this is even being floated to send $24 billion more when Trump ran on ending the conflict. They're trying to launder as much money as possible, looting the system as they go out, hoping to start World War III to initiate continuity of government and prevent the transition entirely, which is potentially why why Grok is listing describing the transition as being potential. Because they're going to do everything they can to stop it. I think Grok understands that. How about this one? Trump's incoming border czar, Tom Homan, puts sanctuary cities on notice. Requests DOJ to charge officials with obstruction and harboring for shielding illegal immigrants. So if Gavin Newsom tries to prevent illegals in California from getting deported, DOJ is potentially going to charge him with obstruction and harboring. So you're on notice, Newsom. President-elect Donald Trump's incoming border czar, Tom Homan, has issued a stark warning to sanctuary cities. Comply with federal immigration laws or face severe consequences. In an exclusive interview with Just the News, Homan stated that officials who refuse to cooperate with federal authorities in the detention of illegal immigrants could face serious legal repercussions, including charges of obstruction and harboring. Homan, former acting director of U.S. Immigration and Customs Enforcement, ICE, made it clear that the Trump administration will not tolerate any attempts by local governments to shield illegal aliens from federal law enforcement. Do we have the video? Yeah, let's check it out. We'll hop over to X to make it just a little bit larger for you guys. Let's check it out.
Tom, you heard this mayor out there in Colorado. I want to get your reaction to it, and I want you to be clear about who has jurisdiction, the federal government or state and local governments. And if you're a sanctuary state or city, are you breaking the law?
You're absolutely breaking law. All you have to do is look at Arizona versus U.S. You'll see these breaking law. But look, me and the Denver mayor, we agree on one thing. He's willing to go to jail. I'm willing to put him in jail. Because there's a statute. It's Title 8 United States Code 1324 III. And what it says is, it's a felony if you knowingly harbor and conceal an illegal alien from immigration authorities. It's also a felony to impede a federal law enforcement officer. So if we don't help, that's fine. He can get the hell out of the way. But we're going to go do the job. President Trump has a mandate for American people. We got to secure this country. We got to save American lives. And I find it shocking that any mayor of a city would say, President Trump's been clear. We want to concentrate on public safety threats and national security threats. I find it hard to believe that any mayor or governor would say they don't want public safety threats removed from their neighborhoods. I mean, I don't know what the hell is going on in Denver, but we're going to go and we're going to fix it. If you don't want to fix it, if you don't want to protect his communities, President Trump and ICE will.
Yep. Legendary. We agree on one thing. He's willing to go to jail, and I'm willing to put him in jail. Let's do it. That's right, Omega Directive. Indict them. Wendy says, I love this show for many reasons, one of which is that I don't moderate it. Although technically, Wendy, you are a moderator, but mostly so that I don't have to keep tallying up all of your shares for the info. Not mostly, because you deserve it. But when people share enough and support the show enough, oftentimes I'll just make them a mod. Make it easier to keep track of their info infantry rankings. So Wendy, a general in the info infantry as a mod. Thanks for helping out, Wendy. Appreciate you. Hilarious, though. Let's arrest them all. All these governors and mayors who are trying to get in the way. You're going to be arrested. So you are on notice officially. How about this one? Red-pilled. Young Turks co-host Anna Kasparian describes how an act of kindness changed her mind about Trump supporters. Remember we talked about this, we played a clip last week of this chick saying, I've worked with this awesome, really smart guy, and then I found out he was a conservative, and now I hate him. It's the opposite of what Anna's reaction to a similar scenario, where instead of realizing, maybe I was wrong about conservatives, maybe they're not all evil, racist Nazis, maybe I need to reassess, Is there something in the water over at the Young Turks? In recent weeks, both Chunk and Anna have been having strangely red-pilled moments, with Chunk defending Trump's comments about Liz Cheney, Anna Kasparian praising conservative laws in Florida. What is going on? Now in a new clip circulating on social media, Kasparian describes how a kind moment from a neighbor forced her to rethink everything that she thought she knew about Trump supporters. Let's go over to X, maximize, and check out the video.
And so I'm like, trying to get his bicycle like up the stairs. And all of a sudden, this man stops me. His name's Jeff. And he's like, hey, let me help you out with that. And he starts helping me out. He stopped everything he was doing to help me out. And then Jeff and I became very close. You know, one of my neighbors who I really like, he was my favorite person in the entire building. And
she's in love with a conservative and she's waking up because of it.
Years go by. One day we're in an HOA meeting, homeowners association, and one of the people living in the building said something about Trump that was negative. I don't remember what it is. And Jeff whispers in my ear, she's going to start trashing Trump. I'm out of here. And it hit me that he's a Trump supporter. We had never talked about politics before.
Looks good,
and I'm like,
Tri-Stater.
so I got
Check it
to
out
know
next.
Jeff before I knew what his politics were. Incredibly kind guy. He helps everyone in this building with anything they might need. And so that woke me up to, wait a minute, not all Trump supporters are like dangerous, evil individuals. And yes, it was stupid that I thought that to begin with. Like, I'm embarrassed admitting that, but it's just
Good for
how
you,
I
Anna.
believed. And that kind of was one of the moments where it's like a light bulb went off and something was telling me, you need to scratch beneath the surface a little more because you don't have a realistic view of what's going on here.
Boom. Unbelievable to watch people on the left waking up. That's right. We're not all evil. We're actually the good guys. Welcome to our side. How about this? Tri-Stater just shared this in the chat from Peter St. Ange, PhD at Prof. St. Ange on X. Doge goes for the Death Star. Elon and Vivek just laid out their plan to effectively nullify the administrative state, its army of bureaucrats, and trillions of dollars of waste. Sounds highly exciting. Tri-Stater, thanks for sharing this, brother. Let's check it out.
The Department of Government Efficiency is going straight for the jugular for the exhaust ports on the Death Star. Last week, Elon Musk and Vivek Ramaswamy co-wrote an op-ed in the Wall Street Journal laying out their strategy for radically shrinking the federal government, the unelected occupying army that lords over our fair republic. Beyond auditing the $500 billion in pure waste and fraud, there are two key parts. First is two recent Supreme Court decisions that invalidated nearly the entire administrative state because it was not, in fact, passed by Congress, who is supposed to write all the laws, not just the fun ones.
Yeah, the Chevron deference doctrine, where all these executive departments were just allowed to make policies that effectively were enforced as laws, total garbage.
And the second, the long-established precedent that the president can get rid of government workers who are not needed, a so-called reduction in force. Put them together and you get a beautiful three-step process. First, get rid of the unconstitutional regulation that renders the bureaucrats redundant, so assess minimum staffing needs and force reduce away. Then the leftover money reverts to Treasury to cancel out deficit, or dare we dream, pay down debt if greedy Congress things can keep their paws to themselves. I covered in a recent video how the Loper-Bright decision alone renders nearly every single federal regulation unconstitutional, since just 50 of the tens of thousands of rules passed per year are actually authorized by Congress despite having the force of law. The other 99% are unconstitutional. That means Doge and Trump are simply enacting the will of the Supreme Court, which the rogue Biden administration ignored. So concretely, how will this play out? So Doge will present Trump a list of regulations that overstep congressional authority, meaning ones that involve major policy decisions without explicit congressional authorization. Trump can then instantly pause enforcement, effectively nullifying the rule, and then do a full review for formal rescission, getting rid of the rule. At which point, if Congress really wants the rules, they are free to pass them in a law, which they will not do for the same reason they never passed it in the first place. So nullifying thousands of rules would rocket fuel the economy, but it would also automatically render tens of thousands of bureaucrats redundant. Trump, being a good steward of the Treasury, can then fire them, And given the federal workers earn six figures with gold-plated benefits, twice the tax-paying plebs, that alone returns billions to taxpayers. But that is just the beginning. Because the problem isn't the salaries, the problem is the regulations themselves and the control it gives. So I've covered how regulations massively increase the cost of everything you buy.
Yep. And they're like, oh no, we're going to lose all these federal jobs. People are going to be jobless. Yeah. For like 5 minutes, you get rid of all the regulations. So many jobs will be formed from all of that capital going back into the companies that won't be spending it to get around the regulations. They'll be able to hire new people, innovate, create whole new sectors and research and development, new projects in all their companies. We just saw in Argentina, Javier Milei killing 380,000 regulations in the past year and going from a negative GDP up to an 8.6 GDP. Even as we covered Friday, JP Morgan has to admit it, that their GDP is through the roof, that they are in one of the top GDPs on the planet right now. Javier Milei gave us the blueprint, and Argentina was kind of fucked. So they're starting from a position of disadvantage with all the technology at the fingertips of the average American. Our economy will literally explode, Jerry. That's right. To new heights unseen hitherto in history. We're talking like I wouldn't be surprised if we hit like a 20% GDP. Like we could hit astronomical levels of production and innovation and employment. Exactly, Braden. Regulation kills jobs. Less government equals more jobs, just like more guns equals less crime.
To illustrate, Biden was proposing rules that would increase the cost of a washing machine by $200, a furnace by $500, an air conditioner by $1,000. They've been piling this crap on for 40 years. One study estimated regulations add $10,000 to the price of a car. Gets worse, a study by the National Association of Manufacturers estimated regulations add $30,000 to the cost of hiring a manufacturing worker. They add $50,000 a year for small manufacturers. So not only does that mean little guys cannot compete, it drives all of them to China. All of that gone with the swipe of a pen. So what's next? Brought to you by Unchained.com. Historically, waste and fraud efforts get bogged down in the details and end up cutting a few embarrassing programs, and then they peter out. This time looks very different. Elon and Vivek have correctly identified the thermal exhaust ports of the Death Star, and they're going in. Okay, we'll be watching. See you next time.
Man, that's right, Skunk. Trump Golden Age will be his legacy. Craig Muttley, GDP up 2x, 3x, or more potentially. I can see that happening. I could see that happening exactly, Skunk. Healthcare regulations are strangling. Ron Paul used to talk about this during the 2008-2012 presidential races, where just the introduction of the government involvement and the mandatory nature of insurance and all this stuff just created such a bloated bureaucracy that increases the prices of everything astronomically. And then they'll charge you like $500 for a Band-Aid. Just price, if you want to go after price gouging, Kamala Mamala. It's not the grocery stores that operate on tiny margins of profit in the first place. It's the medical industry and the government, charging $90,000, paying $90,000 for a bag of bushings, charging like $500 for a bandage at a hospital. That's the price gouging that needs to be addressed. How about this? How awkward. CNN and MSNBC just got beaten in the ratings by the Hallmark Channel. Damn, that's embarrassing. Oh, man, that's embarrassing. How bad are things at CNN and MXDNC or MXNBC? MSDNC or MXNBC are now the applicable terms as Elon may buy MSNBC and call it MXNBC. So bad that they were both recently beaten in the ratings by the Hallmark Channel. We're just 3 weeks off of one of the most contentious and historic presidential elections in recent history. And more people are watching the Hallmark Channel than the supposed journalists and political analysts of CNN or MSNBC. One has to wonder how CNN justifies Anderson Cooper's $20 million salary when people would rather watch Holiday Touchdown, a Chiefs love story. Forbes reports Hallmark beat CNN and MSNBC in viewers last week. The Hallmark Channel has begun its annual countdown to Christmas and is already 9 films on its slate of 32 new holiday movies as the network moves towards its annual seasonal dominance of TV ratings, when its programs regularly beat out even the most popular cable, sports, and news broadcasts. Wow, that's true. I didn't know that. I thought they were just always had terrible ratings. Hallmark rose to be the 3rd most popular channel in primetime in Today viewership in the week of November 11th to 17th, beating out both MSNBC and CNN. The Hallmark Channel was 3rd among all cable networks, falling only to Fox News and ESPN, with an average coverage of 810,000 viewers in primetime and 479,000 viewers at any given point in the day. Network has steadily gained audience members each week since the first of its holiday movie lineup debuted on October 18th, rising from the 7th most popular total day channel that week with 387,000 average viewers. Hilarious. Let's check out PBD discussing it, it looks like.
Imagine you're CNN and MSNBC. You're at a point that you're okay losing to Fox. You're at a point that you're okay losing to Rogan. You're at a point that you may even okay losing to other podcasters, right? You know, election night, some people are putting more numbers than you are. We did that on election night. You're like, listen, those guys are amateurs. We're
Tulip.
pros.
What's up,
we built
Tulip?
the Titanic. The amateurs are building the Joe Rogan Experience, the PBD podcast, all this other stuff. But these are amateurs. But imagine you wake up one day and your producer comes to you and says, guys, what? Hallmark just beat us. Well, bro, what are you talking about? Hallmark just beat us. Tell me nobody's written that article yet. Bro, they wrote it already.
The greeting card company?
That's bullshit. No. Hallmark? They make cards. Give them a Hallmark. Hallmark beat CNN and
TV
MSNBC
Green.
in viewership
What up?
last week.
No way.
Here's a
Hallmark?
supersized guide to rating in all 32 new holiday films. Can you imagine that?
Man.
How do you let Hallmark beat you? You can let a lot of people beat you. You cannot let Hallmark beat you. We're talking about practice, right? We're talking about Hallmark. We cannot be talking about Hallmark here, right? I mean, you understand what the reference of the great AI.
That's bad. That's so bad, especially right after such a huge election, to be being beaten by holiday movies when it's not even December yet. Oof. They got to just get rid of CNN at this point, and MSDNC. Sell it off. Let Elon buy it and put Alex Jones on it during his noon to 4 Eastern time slot. That would be legendary. How about this? Biden throws struggling Rivian EV company $6 billion lifeline for EV factory. You've got to be kidding me. The centralized manipulation of the market causes negative externalities, which fuck us all over in myriad of ways. So this is like mindful of Solyndra. The Biden-Harris administration is rushing to spend taxpayer funds before President-elect Trump takes office, proposing $24 billion to Ukraine, trying to send $8 billion to Intel at the start of the week, and now billions more to save struggling electric vehicle manufacturer Rivian Automotive. On Tuesday, U.S. Department of Energy announced it would offer a direct loan of up to $6.57 billion, including $5.975 billion of principal and $592 million of capitalized interest to finance Rivian's EV factory in Stanton Springs North, near the city of Social Circle, Georgia. Done. We're done. We should not be doing anything like this. Hell yeah, Casey. KC 13. Yeah. Alex Jones by day, Joe Rogan by night. That'd be legendary. The project was shelved in early March over the urgent need to reduce costs. We can't be offering these types of subsidies to companies, man. Exactly, Omega. So sick of bailouts. If they're gonna fail, they're gonna fail. And it's like a heroin addiction. You're not helping the problem by just injecting capital like you would be injecting more heroin. Gotta go cold turkey. Let the market restructure itself and replace these funds to effective usage. They're just going to be screwing everything up by doing this. Today's announcement reinforces the Biden-Harris administration's commitment to strengthen the nation's manufacturing competitiveness, helping ensure American businesses remain global leaders in the rapidly expanding EV industry. How about you just get rid of regulations? Let manufacturing bloom and explode on its own. And stop giving special advantages to people that you like politically. How about that? Democrats in the White House are spending taxpayer funds like a drunken sailor. Yeah, if you want to strengthen the nation's manufacturing competitiveness, let them manufacture without having to jump through a bazillion stupid-ass hoops made of red tape. It's ridiculous. It's insane. So they're spending money like a drunken sailor ahead of Trump entering the White House in less than 2 months. Hopefully we can arrest all of them as a result of this corruption. The Trump administration may claw back the money the Biden team is dishing out as lifelines to struggling companies. We view the DOE loan as a lifeline for Rivian, considering it has been unable to meet production and sales targets and has burned through $19 billion since going public in 2021. These companies make no sense, man. Just bring back internal combustion. Cash crunch forced the startup to pause construction of the Georgia plant in March because that is their destiny. They can't afford it. They can't do it. The government isn't there to save particular industrial companies that they like. So you guys get the gist on that. Ridiculous. How about this? Alex Jones posted this earlier. At Real Alex Jones on X. Breaking. Investigative firebrand Daniel List, a.k.a. Dark Journalist, joins Alex Jones live on air to break exclusive intel on the deep state's continuity of government, COG, plan to trigger a national security crisis to keep Trump out of office. This is just a link to the live video, but he posted the full interview over here. COG expert warns record-level UFO activity, tied to shadow government's plans for a nuclear World War III scenario. Mama Mac, that December 5th date is getting a little ominous at this point. Dark Journalist joins Alex Jones for a must-watch deep dive into the different ruling factions of Earth. Let's check out some of this. Full interview is an hour and a half long. We'll watch a few minutes of it, and link will be in the description so you guys can check it out in full.
Yeah, it's interesting. Trump, you mentioned that he should go out and use that bully pulpit now, and this is a crucial period where he's in between. So he's president-elect, and he has the ability to do that. They have not been rocking the boat enough, in my opinion, around the war effort. They may be doing a lot in the background, as you pointed that out, and I'm sure that they are. But nonetheless, I think that they should say, look, we're looking for a peaceful resolution in Ukraine, and all of this war talk and the provocations, we're taking it down a notch, and I implore both sides, this administration and the Putin side, to take the heat down.
Well, that's the right move, and it's a perfect day before Thanksgiving message. I mean, if he doesn't do it by tomorrow, I'm going to start getting worried, Daniel.
I know, I can appreciate it, and I think we are in a time of kind of maximum peril because they are being pushed, and so we're in a very dangerous state. And I think that when you're looking at the combination, I go back to the fact that we had this very unusual incident with Trump being assassinated, twice. The assassination attempts went down on both occasions, and on one of those occasions, the Secret Service director, who around the Thomas Matthew Crooks thing, set up all the really bad setup and defense and security. So all the security stripping that was going on with the Secret Service stand down at that incident in Butler. It's very interesting to me because if you go into her past a little bit, you're going to find that she was Dick Cheney's Secret Service person, and she's the one who dragged him into the COG bunker during 9/11. So the COG aspect has operated and continues to operate, and it's very interesting that it always seems represented at key points in these deep events. For example, the assassination. I think that the COG group in particular looks at Trump as the ultimate threat, and they are ready to stand in whether or not he's been elected. And they have the perfect opportunity through the announcement of emergency powers. I think the road to that announcement is very tricky for them, and that they, on the inside, would prefer not to do it, but they're ready to do it.
We've never seen them rolling it out and beta testing it and introducing it like we are now. I mean, this this looks like that they're getting ready to unveil it. We just don't know the exact scenario or what that civil emergency, national emergency scenario would be. But they really are hyping power outages to be blamed on the Russians, something along those lines.
Exactly. The Russian cyber attack. This whole thing, I think that they put us in a very interesting position also with all the emergency aspects. because what happens is we go into a situation where they have a number of options that they can tap. They've gotten a lot of data back.
Gator.
For example, on the UFO side, when they did the whole thing about, oh, Northcom is looking at this, we're shooting down UFOs, which was an actual headline in the New York Times. If you think about that, and the openness that they have around the UFO subject in Congress, it is unnerving in that sense. Not that they're giving out real, genuine disclosure. There's two versions of disclosure there, the real thing and then CIA disclosure. But the fact that they're going into it means they have a plan to roll the thing out. And when you see people who are in key positions, like Marco Rubio, for example, who was really big on getting this UFO defense office going, a lot of them, interestingly enough, are coming out of Florida as well.
Real quick, yeah, Alex losing a ton of weight. He's been intermittent fasting and using the Ozempic of the Sea, this new CMOS product that he's been selling on the alexjonesstore.com, I think. So yeah, good for Alex. Getting in shape, looking fit and trim. Good to see. Really good to see. It's not the stress. I think he's like over the whole sale of InfoWars thing, which the judge said didn't happen. We'll get into that next. So I don't think it's stress. I think he's just being health conscious now. So good for him.
As well. But for me, when I look at that, I say, well, they're looking at rolling out one of those scenarios.
I'll be right back.
And
I'm going to bring Loki downstairs
for which scenario would work on the emergency side. Whoever's running the Biden administration is trying to get all this accomplished before Trump gets in. And this is also why they rolled out the UFO hearing a week after the election. They're trying to institute a program and probably move materials as well before Trump gets in and then has access to the whole thing. One of the main things I think that they can use is the UFO threat aspect. Now, they do have other aspects where they could call in COG, cyber attacks, the things that you're talking about on the nuclear side. Certainly a nuclear warning would do it. But then the nuclear thing gets very messy unless you're using Rod of God technology and some of the things that they haven't let out yet. Like we've done some reports on this Ripple technology that's classified even now, even though it's been around 60 years. And that Ripple technology lets off a nuclear catastrophe, but it doesn't have any fallout. So it has a kind of a clean burn where it destroys things, but they're still able to use it after the fact. So the Rod of God technology also gets us into a weird place. And this is the kind of thing where they don't want to disclose everything that they have. But we know about the Rod of God technology because that also has this ripple type effect where it goes into a particular area, decimates it like a nuclear explosion, but it doesn't have any of the fallout that's involved. So those advanced weapons, I hope to never see them used. But we see in the conflict with what's going on with NATO, forcing themselves in there and really at the very end of the Biden administration trying to ramp this up and ratchet it up into World War III, it creates a perfect scenario for the continuity of government players. Now, if you see anything, as soon as the election kicked in, if you get a UFO hearing a week after the election, and then you have all of these drone swarms, quote unquote, in Langley Air Force Base in the United States, you're having a drone swarm. I mean, that is unheard of. But now we're seeing it at U.S. bases overseas.
While other networks lie to you about what's happening now, InfoWars tells you the truth about what's happening next. Visit Infowars.com/show and share the link today.
All right.
So with the transition occurring and Joe Biden and co.'s utter refusal to back down, trying to send more money to Ukraine, trying to start World War III over there, doing all this crazy stuff that they know the new administration is going to be against. It almost seems like they're angling towards some kind of continuity of government thing to prevent Trump from taking power. So this is potentially a really, really important interview.
We have a lot of guests on.
And my parents are here till Thursday morning, so Loki's tweeting because she can hear him downstairs, so I brought her downstairs because she just craves human interaction constantly. So she's not alone down there. She's hanging out with my parents right now.
And I had a caller last Friday saying, you got to get Dark Journalist on, Daniel. And he's a really, really smart guy. And when I say that, I mean, he really knows what he's talking about, and he can integrate the entire globalist agenda together. And I agree with his analysis. I mean, it's like I'm in my own head because we're seeing the same thing. He's really astute. And we're going to explain here what this orchestra of manipulation is playing and what the song is the drum beat for. So we're going to be talking to him for the balance of the broadcast today, interspersed with your calls on the same subject, ongoing World War III, going into full nuclear war, all of the UAVs showing up at Mach 20 flying around, bringing out the secret weapons as a threat to the Russians. The globalists knew humanity would try to reject their New World Order, reject eating the bugs, reject the transhumanism. So this is their big counterstrike. The empire is going to strike back. Knowing this and then taking action is winning the battle. So we'll talk to him in a moment, but I want to talk about something really important here. A few callers back, great callers, said, listen, just keep fighting, Alex. Thank you. We know it's hard. No, fighting tyranny is not hard. I love it. I hate tyrants. I love being into freedom. I love feeling good about what I'm doing. I love being accurate. I love standing up for humanity. That's my spirit. That's my instinct. Thank you for commissioning me like I'm an officer in the military for the people.
Would you prefer the word moist, Wendy? Would you prefer that one? Okay, so you guys get the gist. Full interview will be posted. Link in the description so you can watch Dark Journalist break it all down with Jones later on. Really good interview, I'm sure. How about this? InfoWars posting legal bombshell. It's official. Federal judge says the sale of InfoWars to The Onion never happened. Never happened. Ben Warren wrote this one over at Infowars.com, which Alex Jones is still in possession of. Not The Onion. Federal Judge Chris Lopez made it clear that The Onion, quote, did not buy InfoWars, unquote, and what transpired, quote, should not be seen as a sale, unquote, during a legal discussion on Monday. Boom! So that's pretty huge. Legal bombshell. It's official. Federal judge says the sale of InfoWars to The Onion never happened.
It is Monday, November 25th, 2024. I am your host, Alex Jones, here with a major breaking Monday evening news alert that deals with the First Amendment and the Monday evening news alert that deals with the First Amendment and the people's battle to reclaim our country from the clutches of the globalist. Major First Amendment legal developments today. First off, a week and a half ago, the corporate media falsely reported that InfoWars had been sold to The Onion at an auction. The judge did not authorize the auction. And today, at another status hearing, setting up a trial of the evidence because the judge is investigating what really happened, the judge said, quote, no one should consider this to be a sale. Sale did not go through. The Onion did not buy InfoWars. He said the status quo is in place at least 10 times from the day before the auction that he did not authorize. He authorized an auction in the future, but they had to have hearings because they were claiming that they owned my name. I'll give you more details of that here in a moment. But the other big news story was at that November 14th emergency hearing, the day after the fake sale in Houston, Elon Musk X Corp entered the case with a lawsuit within it to defend the right of X to not have private handles of people like Alex Jones stripped away. It violates the 13th Amendment against slavery. There are so many issues. And today they filed a major brief in the case.
In that brief, it pointed out how these handles are property of X. So they're basically saying we own all of the handles, all the personal handles. You can't take them because X owns them. So that could be its own little problem potentially.
You can read the brief at Infowars.com. As of airtime, there's been 4 million people that have read it on X as well. Elon Musk X comes to Alex Jones' aid against Democrat attempts to steal Jones's X identity and more. So we'll be walking through that as well.
The judge never authorized a sale to occur, Mama Mac. They were supposed to have additional hearings to plan the auction, and the trustee went ahead and orchestrated the auction without the judge's knowledge, changed the terms of the auction type that they had agreed on, and went ahead and just held it. So as far as the judge knew, the auction was not even supposed to be taking place yet, apparently.
But if you remember, on the 14th of November, it's now the 25th, you saw everywhere, The Onion owns us, and then we learned more. The Onion owner, a former disinformation specialist, meaning a guy that censors at MSNBC, went on Good Morning America with Stephanopoulos and the head of Everytown, Michael Bloomberg's anti-gun organization, and said, we own it, and that Everytown, the gun control group, meaning Bloomberg, was going to finance The Onion and their program to take my identity, pose as me, and discredit my work over the years with flying saucers, space aliens, chupacabras, and Bigfoots.
Jerry, glad you enjoyed the broadcast. Hope you have a kick-ass dinner, and bless you as well, new friend. Hopefully we'll catch you on the flip side. Have a good night.
They've actually been bragging and saying that. Still, on the Onion Tetrahedron website, they say they own InfoWars. The judge said today that they should really watch out doing that in future hearings. That would be brought up. They not only use the federal trustee to come into the building on November 14th. And
my dad saw Bigfoot in Mexico. We would ply a car at a resort, and he likes to fish, so he went down to the beach and walked away from the resort along the shoreline to go fish in like wild area, basically in the jungle. And there was one point where the jungle went all the way up to the coast, right up to the water, so we had to walk through the jungle to get to the next section of beach. And he was walking through and saw a giant hairy arm reaching up into a tree, and it freaked him the fuck out. And he ran back to the hotel room where we found him, white as a sheet, as if he'd just seen a ghost, and he was terrified. It was hilarious.
Turn the internet off so we couldn't do our shows without a court order, literally hijacking the facility. They went further and told everyone that we were closed and that anyone buying products from InfoWars would be going to them, obviously attempting to cut off our viewers and listeners, giving us support so we can continue to defend ourselves in the courts against this injustice and continue to promote liberty and freedom and stopping World War III. So there is your big breaking news. We have NBC News trying to spin this. Judge says he must still approve sale of InfoWars to the Onion. That's NBC.
Exactly, Craig. So they could be in legal trouble for sticking to this narrative, falsely claiming that they own it, etc. And this trustee for changing the terms of the agreement, for allowing the lowest bid to obtain the sale, for taking an offer for money that doesn't exist, that's still under appeal. The trustee could be facing legal issues as well. Allegedly, he committed multiple felonies in the process about this. In terms of Bigfoot, it's possible that there are big feats out there. There are all kinds of interesting stories about the Florida skunk ape sightings from all over the place. The other interesting one is skinwalkers. Look into that one. Shapeshifters. They're lurking, guys. They're out there lurking.
NBC News. No, that is not what the judge said. The judge said that they did not buy InfoWars. Sale did not go through. Another quote was, no one should see this as a sale, and that we are now pre-auction. And I will get soon from my lawyers an official federal transcript. You're not allowed to tape or record the hearings.
Crazy.
You have to wait for the official stamped transcript. And as soon as we have that, I will post it at Real Alex Jones on X and at Infowars.com, just like I posted this today on X. Breaking: Elon Musk X Corp objects to the sale of transfer of any X accounts maintained by Alex Jones or Infowars in court filing. And here is the actual filing that, again, 4 million people and counting have now read. So we actually show you the documents in my lawsuit against the Democratic Party operatives. Last Tuesday, we have all the exhibits of the so-called auction where they said it was a public auction to the highest bidder that would be public. Then 2 days before, they changed the rules and said to the folks I was working with that did their bids properly and actually offered real cash and way above what the deep staters did, they were given rules saying you cannot offer credit and you cannot offer formulas, knowing that they already had the other bid from the Democrat Party, Bloomberg-backed Onion Group, saying that they could use credit and formulas. We have the rules that were given to the group I was working with, who won the real bid, and we have the rules they gave the others. They actually gave lawyers for the group that actually won the bid their own documents that they think legitimize what they did. This is unprecedented.
Two different sets of rules, perfectly emblematic of the two-tier justice system to which we're all being subjected. Here's him breaking the news on air after the hearing today.
Would you like to know what the judge did with InfoWars today?
Well, I know last I heard we have till at least December 9th, but then we went on air.
He said the sale never went through and they do not own it. They need to stop saying that. And he said, if he finds out the bankruptcy rules weren't followed, there's going to be issues. And he said it may take a bunch of hearings. And we have all the documents, so we know what's going to happen. Oh, and they gave our bidders, people I was working with, a list saying no credit or no formulas, and then expressly let them use credit and formulas. So it's done right there. They complete. Because this judge does follow the law. He doesn't do us any favors, but I'm going to shoot a whole video on it. And look, they're still on their site saying they own this place. They are crapping bricks. And then NBC News spun it. Oh, judge says the Onion might still be able to buy it. That's how they spin that. Oh, so they didn't buy it, but the judge said, oh, he's having a hearing to see if they can buy it.
Wait. Is that an NBC News headline?
Yeah.
Guys, pull that headline.
Type in Alex Jones on Google.
These people are insane, man.
I still might be able to buy it.
So
judge says he
crooked.
must still approve sale of InfoWars to the Onion. So the last thing I saw was it was a court date on the 9th for a hearing. But then we went on air, and so that was the last time I heard of anything developing there.
I didn't even know there was a newscast. There was a lady talking about it. Oh, so it was all done. We were out of the building, and here we are a couple weeks later. And the judge might still let them. So they never got it. See?
That's right. Federal law, Donna. You know what's up.
Well-known talk shows going, really? They didn't get it? Well, why is the news saying that?
They came in here like they're pretty aggressive. What a ride. What a ride it's been.
He says he may still approve.
There it says must still approve. That's insane. Oh, so he hasn't approved it yet. So what a twist, man. What a twist on words that they're doing over there. These scumbags, they know what they're doing. Let's check out some of these new appointments Tri-Staters posting in the chat over from Real Donald Trump on X. I'm very pleased to nominate Jim O'Neill to serve as the Deputy Secretary of Health and Human Services to work alongside RFK Jr. He will oversee all operations and improve management, transparency, and accountability to make America healthy again. Jim previously served as the Principal Associate Deputy Secretary of HHS. He led reforms at FDA to overhaul food safety regulations and implemented the FDA Amendments Act, which improved drug and medical device safety and ensured a greater protection for the public health. He helped design and launch the Administration for Strategic Preparedness and Response, ASPR, to improve the health response to emergencies and disasters. We could probably just get rid of that entirely. After serving at HHS, Jim became a managing director of Clarium Capital, a global macro investment fund. As CEO of the Thiel Foundation, Jim funded innovative nonprofits that promote technology and freedom. By co-founding the Thiel Fellowship, he helped launch the careers of young entrepreneurs who founded science and tech companies worth hundreds of billions of dollars. More recently, Jim served as CEO of SENS Research Foundation, SRF. He led efforts to research and develop regenerative medicine solutions. God damn, why can I not talk all of a sudden? Regenerative medicine solutions for age-related diseases such as Alzheimer's, cancer, and heart disease. Under his leadership, SRF made progress towards rejuvenating the immune system, eliminating senescent cells that are dying, in other words, rejuvenating the neocortex, and obviating mitochondrial mutations. Jim and RFK Jr. will fight in unison to ensure every American, especially our most precious resource, our children, will live long and healthy lives and make America great and healthy again. Yeah, TV Green, I don't know what's going on over here. Yeah, not easy for me to say, apparently. So I don't know anything about this dude, Jim O'Neill. I think it is Jim O'Neill. Let me know if you guys know about anything about that in chat. Jerry, that's right. The FBI is broken. It needs cash. Hashtag cash only. Couldn't agree more. Next one. Trump is thrilled to nominate Jay Bhattacharya, MD, PhD, to serve as director of the National Institutes of Health. Bhattacharya will work in cooperation with Robert F. Kennedy to direct the nation's medical research and to make important discoveries that will improve health and save lives. I know this name. It sounds familiar, but I can't place it. Jay is a professor of health policy at Stanford University, a research associate at the National Bureau of Economics Research, a senior fellow by courtesy at the Stanford Institute for Economic Policy Research, Stanford Freeman Spogli Institute, and the Hoover Institution. He directs Stanford's Center for Demography and Economics of Health and Aging. His research focuses on the health and well-being of vulnerable populations, emphasizing the role of government programs, biomedical innovation, and economics. Jay is a co-author of the Great Barrington Declaration, an alternative to lockdowns proposed in October 2020. That is good. That's the type of people we need. being put in air. Casey, 13. Hope you have a nice night. You heading out, Casey, too? Yeah, all right. Glad you're going to follow the channel, Casey. Pleasure to make your acquaintance, and thanks for giving me the opportunity to earn your viewership if you're here from Free Castle. Big shout out to Free Castle. Thanks for joining us tonight. Getting McGroin, always good to see you as well. So this guy co-authored the Great Barrington Declaration. That's awesome. A bunch of based, good doctors on that. His peer-reviewed research has been published in economics, statistics, legal, medical, public health, and health policy journals. He holds an MD and PhD in economics from Stanford University. Together, Jay and RFK will restore the NIH to a gold standard of medical research as they examine the underlying causes of, and solutions to, America's biggest health challenges, including our crisis of chronic illness and disease. Together, they will work hard to make America healthy again. All right, that is a really good pick. Jay Bhattacharya. Bhattacharya. Yeah, this is one of the good guys from the pandemic, I believe. Next, it is Trump's great honor to announce John Phelan as our next United States Secretary of the Navy. John will be a tremendous force for our naval service members and a steadfast leader in advancing my America First vision. He will put the business of the U.S. Navy above all else. John has excelled in every endeavor, from founding and leading Rugger Management LLC to co-founding MSD Capital LP, the private investment firm for Michael Dell, CEO of Dell Technologies. His record of success speaks for itself, a true champion of American enterprise and ingenuity. John's intelligence and leadership are unmatched. John holds an MBA from Harvard Business School and is a truly brilliant guy. His incredible knowledge and experience will elevate the lives of brave Americans who serve our nation. John will deliver real results for our Navy and our country. I look forward to working with him. Congratulations, John. Together, we will make America strong again. Let's check out the next one. Thanks, Tri-Stater, for sharing these. Next, we have Trump pleased to announce that Dr. Kevin A. Hassett of Massachusetts will serve as the director of the White House National Economic Council. As my chair of the Council of Economic Advisors, Kevin played a crucial role in helping design and pass the Tax Cuts and Jobs Act of 2017 and stood with me as we pursued our enormously successful agenda to make America great again. He will play an important role in helping American families recover from the inflation that was unleashed by the Biden administration. Together, we will renew and improve our record tax cuts and ensure that we have fair trade with countries that have taken advantage of the United States in the past. Kevin will also play a key role strengthening our economic relationships with allies, new and old, while securing prosperity for the American people. Kevin is currently the Brent R. Nicholas Distinguished Fellow in Economics at the Hoover Institution at Stanford University and managing director at the Milken Institute. He served as the 29th chairman of the Council of Economic Advisors 2017 to 2019 and returned to the White House in 2020 to serve as Trump's senior advisor. Congratulations to Kevin, his wife Christy, and their two sons, James and John. Don't know much about that guy. If you guys have anything, let me know in the chat. Next, another announcement. Trump is pleased to nominate Jamieson Greer to serve as the United States Trade Representative, USTR. Jamieson played a key role during Trump's first administration in imposing tariffs on China and others to combat unfair trade practices and replaced the failed NAFTA deal with the U.S.-Mexico-Canada agreement, therefore making it much better for American workers. His efforts under the former USTR, Bob Lighthizer, a spectacular leader and person, helped spur the return of manufacturing jobs to America and reverse decades of disastrous trade policies. Jamieson will focus the Office of the U.S. Trade Representative on reining in the country's massive trade deficit, defending American manufacturing, agriculture, and services, and opening up export markets everywhere. Jamieson is currently a partner at the law firm of King & Spalding, and before that served as the chief of staff at USTR. A native of Paradise, California, Jamieson is also a U.S. Air Force veteran who served in Iraq, Turkey, and stateside. Congratulations to Jamieson, his wife Marlo, and their 5 beautiful children. We got another one. Trump, very pleased. Oh, this is the same one. Sorry, I clicked that one twice. One more, I think. Trump is proud to announce that Vince Haley, who served as the director of policy and speechwriting on his winning campaign, will lead my domestic policy agenda as director of the Domestic Policy Council. Vince is very well educated and has a brilliant mind for policies that work for the American people. He holds a bachelor's degree from the College of William and Mary, a law degree, and a master's degree in foreign affairs from the University of Virginia, and a master's in European law from the College of Europe. Vince helped lead the speechwriting department in my first administration, working to convey our message to the public. Prior to joining the 2016 campaign, he worked for 12 years in a variety of roles for Newt Gingrich, a man who Trump greatly respects and I do not. The 2024 presidential election was won by an unprecedented margin, which many in the mainstream media and Washington, D.C. did not expect because the size and magnitude of our MAGA movement was greatly underestimated. The American people gave us a mandate to deliver on our promises and put America first. As director of Domestic Policy Council, Vince will help make life better for all Americans and unify our country through success. That's right. The lefties think that they're going to be in danger, that this is all going to be bad. But once they start feeling their pockets all flushed out with cash, they're going to be like, maybe it's not so bad. We're safe. We're not being arrested for being gay and trans, and we're rich. So hopefully that'll work out. Unity through success. Together, we will defeat inflation, rapidly bring down prices, secure the southern border, cut taxes and regulations, reignite growth, build the greatest economy in history, and make America great again. Let's see if there are any other ones that we missed. We'll scroll quickly through Trump's posts over here. Jim O'Neill saw that one. Bhattacharya saw that one. John Phelan saw that one. Kevin A. Hassett saw that one. Jameson Greer saw that one. Vince Haley, we saw that. Scott Turner, here's another one. I'm pleased to nominate Scott Turner from the great state of Tejas as the Secretary of the United States Department of Housing and Urban Development, HUD. Scott is an NFL veteran who during my first term served as the first executive director of the White House Opportunity and Revitalization Council, HORC, helping to lead an unprecedented effort that transformed our country's most distressed communities. I'm sure he was involved with the Opportunity Zones. Yep. Those efforts, working together with former HUD Secretary Ben Carson, were maximized by Scott's guidance in overseeing 16 federal agencies, which implemented more than 200 policy actions furthering economic development. Under Scott's leadership, Opportunity Zones received more than $50 billion in private investment. After graduating from University of Illinois, Scott was drafted by the Washington Redskins. Uh-oh, you can't say that. They're going to cancel you for saying that. And spent 9 years in the NFL before he went on to win a state house race in Texas, where he was born and raised. Scott is the founder and CEO of his family's foundation, Community Engagement and Opportunity Council, CEOC, working to revitalize communities across America through sports, mentorship, and economic opportunity. He's also on the board of the American Cornerstone Institute and an associate pastor at Prestonwood Baptist Church. Scott will work alongside me, Trump, to make America great again for every American. Congratulations to Scott and his wonderful wife, Robin, and son, Solomon. Boom. Boom. We also have Brooke L. Rollins from the great state of Texas to serve as the 33rd United States Secretary of Agriculture. Brooke was on Trump's 2016 Economic Advisory Council, did an incredible job during the first term as the Director of Domestic Policy Council, Director of the Office of American Innovation, and Assistant to the President for Strategic Initiatives. In these roles, she helped develop and manage the transformational domestic policy agenda of Trump's first administration. Brooke has spent the past 4 years as the founder and CEO of the America First Policy Institute. Okay, awesome. And America First Works, AFW, building a team of loyal patriots and championing the policies of our America First agenda. Brooke's commitment to support the American farmer, defense of American food self-sufficiency, really important. We import like 70% of our food. It's got to stop. We got to become self-sufficient for food and medicine because they're built, they like most of our antibiotics and stuff come from China. We cannot allow that. They've strategically outsourced our development of resources and everything to make us internationally dependent to try to drag us into this global government system that they want. We need to become completely independent again, making everything we need, getting rid of all these regulations so we can become net exporters of food, of medicine, of cars, of gas, of everything. We need to make so much stuff that we lead the way and set the standard for proving that independence is the best path forward, as we did the first time around after 1776. Brooke's commitment, American food self-sufficiency, the restoration of agriculture-dependent American small towns, her commitment is second to none. A proud graduate of Texas A&M University, Brooke earned a Bachelor's of Science degree in Agriculture Development, a JD with honors from her upbringing in the small and agriculture-centered town of Glen Rose, Texas, to her years of leadership involvement with future farmers of America and 4-H, to her generational family farming background, to guiding her 4 kids in their show cattle careers. Brooke has a practitioner's experience, along with deep policy credentials in both nonprofit and government leadership at the state and national levels. As next Secretary of Agriculture, Brooke will spearhead the effort to protect American farmers, who are truly the backbone of our country. Congratulations, Brooke. Let's see. Looks like that might be it for now. Thanks, Tri-Stater, for bringing that all to our attention. Good stuff, for the most part. I really like Jay Bhattacharya, the Great Barrington crew, are people that we want involved with this operation moving forward to make us healthy again, for sure. Let's go ahead and toiminate the YouTube broadcast while we are thinking about it. Boom, just put the link up to Rumble. So if you're watching on YouTube, come join us on Rumble or X. Sorry to have to ditch you, but there's nobody over there anyway, except for probably Mama Mac at this particular moment. So if you can't make it, we'll catch you on the flip side for our Wednesday Hump Day edition of Common Censored. Until then, let's get ready to rumble!